human capital. In last class we studied about investment on education. Then investment on education promote economic growth. Okay. Now we can study about health expenditure. Health is an important input for the development of a nation. It is also necessary for individual development. Here, who can work better? A sick person or a person with sound health? Who can work better? A sick labor without access to medical facilities. What will happen? A sick labor compelled to take leave from work, and this leads to loss of productivity. Okay. Hence, the expenditure on health is an important source of human capital formation. Then we need to spend some money for health purpose. Okay. Here preventive medicines are there, vaccines are there, means vaccination and medical, we know curative medicines are there, social medicines are there. Then like that, provision of clean drinking water, good sanitization, these are the forms of health expenditure. Health expenditure directly increases the supply of healthy labor force and is thus a source of human capital formation. Then this preventive medicine, curative medicine, then social medicine, these are the main forms of health expenditure. Okay. Then another thing, we know then health is a important thing for human capital formation. Next one is job training. Expenditure on the job training. On the job training, it is an arrangement where employees develop skills while they are working. That one is the job training. Okay. This is a beneficial for the employees and the organization. We know every companies and every institutions are providing training. It saves the organization extra training cost and gives a working experience for the trainees. Means we know when they are providing some trainings, automatically they need to spend more money, but then also they are providing. What is the reason? It is good for employees. They will get more experience and working experience they will get. Then they can save training cost. Then job training, it is important giving job training to their workers. Means training the workers in the firm helps to promote supervision of a skilled labor. Okay. Then sometimes will provide off-campus training. Then campus training will be there. In both cases, firm incurs some expenses. The firm will insist workers to work for a specified period after their own job training. Like that, firms will give some suggestions. During that period, the firm can recover the benefits of enhanced productivity to the training. Expenditure regarding the job training, like this, they can improve the human capital. Okay. Then through job training we can improve the human capital. Means the return will be good. If we are giving proper training for employees, the return will be good. Okay. Then another thing is migration. What is migration? We know people will migrate from one place to another place in search for jobs or for more salaries. People will move from one place to another place. The technically qualified person like doctors, engineers, managers, etc. migrate from one country to another country to get higher salaries. We know people are going USA, UK for getting good salaries. Both internal and external migration involve cost of transport, higher cost of living, Then migrated place, we know some places they need to adjust with that migrated place. Sometimes that culture will be different. If you are going to another country, culture will be entirely different. The enhanced earning to the from the new place is more than the cost of migration. Okay, hence expenditure on migration is a source of human capital formation. Then main reason for migration is unemployment. Okay, unemployment is the main reason of migration from rural to urban areas. We know people need to get more salary, then what they will do, they will migrate from one place to another place. Okay, then people spend to acquire information relating to labor market and other markets like education and health. Okay, people have to spend more money for labor market, like if you are giving an example, people spend money to know level of salaries offered to different types of job. Then they spend money to know whether educational institutions are providing right proper training for employment. Like that, we know some training institute will be there. Like this information is necessary to make decisions regarding investment in human capital as well as for efficient utilization of human capital stock. Okay, thus expenditure incurred to acquire information relating to labor market, education and health is a important source of human capital formation. Okay, then this is a important source of human capital. We know physical capital is there, then physical capital is there, human capital is there. What is physical capital? Physical capital refers to land, building, equipments, computers and other properties which can be used for production. We can call it as physical capital. What is human capital? It refers to the knowledge and experience possessed by an individual or population. Means individual or a population have knowledge, experience, then we can call it as physical capital. Physical capital is tangible and can be sold in the market like any other commodity. Okay, we know computer or building property machines we can sell in market, but human capital is not sold in the market. What they are doing, they are providing service. Their service only they can sold. Okay, physical capital is separable from its owner, but human capital is inseparable from its owner. We can sell from one person. You suppose he have machineries or he have land, he can sell to another person. But in the case of human capital, it is not separable from its owner. Okay, then physical capital is there, human capital. Then physical capital refers to stock produced means of production. It consists of machines, production plants, stock of tools, implements. These are the physical capital. Human capital refers to the stock of skill and expertise of a nation at a point of time. Okay, that one is human capital. It is the sum total of skills and expertise of engineers, doctors, professors, workers, all types of who are engaged in work. Okay, then financial capital, another one more is there, financial capital. It refers to stock, shares of companies. This one is financial capital. Then we know determinants of human capital formation, expenditure on education, that one is the important thing. Then expenditure on health. Health makes a man more efficient and therefore more productive. His contribution to the production process tend to rise. He adds more GDP of the nation than a sick person. Expenditure on health, therefore, is an important determinant of a human capital formation. It brings out the best of skills in human beings. Then job training, we studied about job training. It helps the workers to hone their specialized skill. It enables them to rise level of their efficiency, productivity. Firms are always inclined to undertake on the job training programs because returns far exceed the cost of such program. Expenditures on such training program therefore is yet another important determinant of human capital. Then another like study, okay, then expenditure on information. Information relating to a job market and educational institution, specialized skills is an important determinant of skill in formation. Okay, it enables people to actualize their productive potential. That one is expenditure on. Then economic growth means increase in the national income of a country. Now we can study about human capital and economic growth. We know education, health, job training, job market information and migration are the important factors for economic growth. Education and health are extremely important factors for economic growth. They increase labor skill and the income generating capacity of individuals. We know the labor skills of an educated person is different from uneducated person. We know educated person have more labor skill comparing to uneducated person. We know then educated person can generate more income than uneducated person. Economic growth means increase in the real national income of a country. Okay, then the contribution of educated person in economic growth is more than the illiterate person. Like that, healthy person also can provide uninterrupted labor supply for a longer period. If people are healthy, they can work without taking leave, like that they can work. Then health also an important factor for economic growth. Thus education and health are important factors. Then we know innovations, like that innovations are there. Innovations and ability to absorb new technology, these also important for economic growth. Okay, we know education facilitate inventions and innovations. We know education field we are conducting lot of research, people are conducting research, and similarly the availability of educated labor facilitate adoption of new technology. Okay, then educated people will adopt new technology and this labor force will be ready for adapt the new technology. Okay, then in terms of years of schooling, teacher people ratio and enrollment rates, and more than that one, quality of education, health service, life expectancy and mortality rate, all these factors reflect health status of a country. Then using the indicators above mentioned, an analysis improvement in education and health sectors and growth in real per capita income both developing and developed countries shows that there is a relationship between human capital and real national income. Okay, then there is a relationship between these all factors, means health factors and all these development factors, and real human capital and the per capita income have a relation. In a developing country like India, large section of the population is living below poverty line. A large majority of people have no access to basic education, healthcare facilities, and basic facilities like sanitization, like that facilities are not there. Many are unable to reach super specialty hospitals and higher education centers. When basic education and healthcare are considered as rights of the citizens, then it is essential that the government should provide free education and health service at free of cost. Okay, then government should provide all these health facilities and free education at free of cost. Keeping this in mind, both the union and state government have been increasing expenditure on education and economic growth.